It all started on a quiet, uneventful night. I was lying in bed, scrolling through my phone, when I heard a faint creaking noise coming from downstairs. At first, I thought nothing of it. Old houses make sounds, right? Maybe it was just the wood settling. But as the minutes ticked by, the sound didn't stop. It grew louder, almost rhythmic, as if someone was slowly pacing back and forth. Curiosity got the better of me. I tiptoed downstairs, the steps groaning under my weight, but when I reached the bottom, the house was silent. Nothing seemed out of place. I checked the doors, all locked. Windows? Secure. I was alone. Or at least, I thought I was. The next morning, I brushed it off, telling myself it was just my mind playing tricks. But the unease lingered. And it only got worse. A few days later, while watching TV, I heard it again, footsteps. This time, it was coming from upstairs. My heart raced, but once again, when I went to investigate, there was nothing. No signs of anyone. I started to wonder if I was going crazy. But then, things started to move. First, it was small. A book that I had left on the coffee table somehow ended up on the kitchen counter. I chalked it up to forgetfulness. Then, my keys disappeared for a whole day, only to reappear in the most random spot inside my bathroom cabinet. But things didn't stop there. No, they got weirder. Late one night, while I was lying in bed, I heard the unmistakable sound of someone whispering. It was so faint, I could barely make out the words. It felt like they were right outside my bedroom door. I froze, listening. My pulse was thundering in my ears. I strained to catch what they were saying. But it was too soft, too unnatural. I knew I had to prove to myself that I wasn't imagining things. So, I set up my phone to record. Just in case. At first, nothing. The house was eerily quiet, like it was holding its breath. Then, around 2 a.m., the noises started. A faint rustling, like fabric brushing against something. Then, footsteps. Not just one set, two. I stayed in bed, too terrified to move. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I checked the footage, hoping to find an explanation. But what I saw chilled me to the bone. The camera had captured something moving in the corner of the room. It was just a shadow at first, barely noticeable. But as the minutes passed, the shadow shifted, grew, and then, a figure appeared. It didn't walk into the frame. No. It crawled. And then it was gone, as if it melted into the darkness. I couldn't believe what I had seen. I rewound the footage, playing it over and over, hoping to find some logical explanation. Maybe a trick of the light, maybe a glitch. But deep down, I knew. There was something in my house. Something I couldn't explain. That's when I noticed something else in the footage. In the background, behind the crawling figure, the door to my attic was slightly open. I hadn't been up there in months. The thought that something or someone had been living in my attic, watching me, made my skin crawl. I had to check. I had to know for sure. Armed with a flashlight, I climbed the creaky ladder up to the attic. The air was thick with dust, and the small beam of light barely cut through the darkness. As I swept the light around, my heart pounded in my chest. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Old boxes, forgotten furniture, but then I saw it. A mattress. A filthy, stained mattress pushed up against the far wall. Next to it, a pile of clothes. Dirty plates. Empty food wrappers. Someone had been living here. 4 months. I was shaking, trying to comprehend the horror of it all, when I heard the unmistakable sound of breathing. It was coming from behind me. I spun around, my flashlight flickering as it caught a glimpse of movement in the shadows. But before I could react, something knocked the flashlight out of my hand. I stumbled backward, my heart in my throat, and I heard the attic door slam shut. I was trapped. For what felt like an eternity, I pressed my back against the wall, my breath shallow, waiting for whatever it was to make its move. But nothing happened. The silence was unbearable. I knew I couldn't stay up there forever. Gathering what little courage I had left, I made a run for the attic door, yanking it open and practically falling down the ladder. I didn't stop. I grabbed my phone, my wallet, and my keys, and I ran out of the house, not looking back. I spent the night in my car, too afraid to go back inside. The next day, I called the police. They searched the house, the attic, but they found no one. Whoever, or whatever, had been there was gone. The officer told me that sometimes people break into homes and live undetected for months, even years. But this didn't feel like just a break-in. It felt wrong. I moved out the next day. Left everything behind. I still don't know who or what was in my house. But sometimes, late at night, I swear I can still hear those whispers. And I wonder, is it really gone? Or is it just waiting for the next person to move in?